Hi, I'm Sam here at Rick Jones Pianos, and this is a Yamaha Model T118. It was made in China in the year 2010, and it is a studio upright, 118 centimeters tall, as you might guess. Many piano manufacturers label their piano model numbers with the height of the piano in centimeters, oftentimes preceded by different letter prefixes. And this was the common Yamaha studio model at the time this piano was made. It's bigger than the Yamaha P2, and as I understand it, if I remember correctly, they do have a different scale design. It's in between the P2, P22, and the Yamaha U1 in size. And accordingly, the scale design is intermediate. And for this model, I think most often see it in this contemporary style case, very much suitable for modern tastes. Everything is quite square, very clean, elegant, refined. A lot of the more traditional parts of upright piano cabinets they aren't present on this piano. They're sort of eliminated to be even more sort of minimalistic and simple. Like for example, on this key cover to fall board, upright pianos were traditionally made with kind of like a curved cover there. Well, they got rid of that here, and it's actually a nice, as a pianist I like this design. It's a fold down rectangle of wood that looks very sleek and minimal. But it also allows sheet music to stand more flat compared to an upright piano with that curved thing I mentioned, which is also fixed in position. If I have to write notes on sheet music, and if I'm playing an upright, I'll do that. It's quite irritating having to deal with the music flopping around. You have to very carefully balance it. But here it's a more flat surface, so I like it. Plus, something which I don't understand why companies didn't do this sooner. It's an extra long music desk on an upright piano, and there's 3 hinges with one extra one in the middle that supports especially heavy books. Great design in my opinion, especially for if you're a teacher and you're teaching on a piano like this. Oftentimes schools have these pianos. Sometimes teachers will have multiple pianos. They'll have a grand for their students, and then they'll have their more beginner students playing on the upright piano in their studio like this. They're still going to have lots of sheet music, and it's nice to have that extra support here and extra length to spread out multiple pieces of paper. So not only is it contemporary design, it's a very functional design in my opinion. And the lid in one piece, I had it propped open here. There's a very nice touch here. It appears to be off the frame of this video, but there's a little brass lid prop that allows this lid to stay open. If you want it to be completely flat, you may do so, but having that little brass lid prop there, it does let a little bit more sound out of the piano, which would otherwise become closed in by the upright design. So, very nice piece of furniture, a very nice musical instrument. I would say, I kind of forgot to think about the tone and touch. When that happens, I say 5 and 5. It has, in my opinion, the typically clear sound that you would expect from a Yamaha. And so much of that comes down to the way the string scale is, the whole plate, cast iron plate, bridges, soundboard, everything. That determines the essential tone of the piano, and that's why Yamahas sound like Yamahas. They have their own distinct idea of what a piano should sound like, and they build it into their designs. No matter how hard or soft the hammers are, hammers in this piano, it's not particularly hard, it's not a bright sound, but it's not a mellow sound either. It's, I think, quite neutral and agreeable, so you can play it more loudly and get a bolder sound, or play it softly and get a very gentle sound. So, strictly speaking, with respect to mellowness or brightness, this piano is right in the middle. And it might be mellower than you would expect a Yamaha to sound. Their old reputation was for having a bright sound. That was maybe more the case in the 70s, or just in general with tired old school pianos that have been played too much. Not the case with this piano. It wasn't played very much, and we've regulated the action. It's all original. When we worked on it, we determined absolutely it did not need any new parts. It was lightly played by its previous owner, which is the case with most of our pianos in our inventory. And then we'll replace parts as necessary, because we are technicians, but it was not necessary in this case. 5 for the tone. The touch, again, very neutral, not really too hard, not really too easy, just an average amount of resistance in the keys. So that's a 5 on the scale from 1 to 10, from light to firm. And I like to recommend pianos that have a 5 and 5 tone and touch, especially for beginner students, because you may not have as much of a developed taste in what you want out of a piano. I don't recommend necessarily going with something that's to either extreme of either scale, because if you end up having to encounter a different piano at a piano lesson or in school or wherever you might end up having to play under greater pressure, like a piano recital, if it's drastically different than what you're used to at home, you will be disoriented most likely, and it will be especially stressful in a situation where you may have an audience. So, in my opinion, having a piano that's right in the middle for both tone and touch is a very good neutral place to be. As a student, getting used to this feel, you can adapt a bit more easily to different pianos in the future. So this piano has that. It's quite wonderful. The piano does also have a middle pedal practice mute, especially good for apartments and row houses. Operates just as usual, putting the hammer, the strip of felt between the hammers and the strings, so you can practice very quietly. Compared to the normal volume, reduces the sound substantially. And of course, like everything else we sell, this piano has a 10-year warranty all parts and labor, and 100% lifetime trade-up guarantee. Do please make sure to have it in tune twice a year by a professional technician and to keep it in a situation of moderate and stable humidity. If you do that, we're confident it will last for sure for the 10 years of the warranty and most likely many decades later. It's not an old piano. I think it's the newest piano in their inventory at the time of this video, and it has not been abused by the previous owner. Evidently they didn't use it much, and my colleagues were able to get a very beautiful high gloss polish out of it, so the finish is in good condition. If you treat a piano well, you can expect a long life ahead of it. But I mean, that's crucial, just making sure it's in tune, making sure the strings don't slowly lose tension over time for being neglected, and making sure the wooden components are not exposed to extremes of humidity. That's bad for any piano, no matter the brand name or the size. So doing that, you can rest assured that you can enjoy this piano for a very long time. However, if you do want to trade in one day, you may do so and return to our store and get precisely the instrument sales price and trade toward the next piano from us. And oftentimes teachers recommend a piano like this to start with, and then once a student has improved and practiced more, then it's time that they recommend a baby grand piano. So it's an option you can take if you want. Please come by, try this piano out for yourself. You can play this or anything else in their inventory. But if you can't make it, you can always give us a phone call or send us an email if you have any questions. Thanks.